Hi, I'm Mary Greendale, and I'm here with a special production of Holliston Cable Access Television, thanks to the efforts of Christian Boudet, who is an intern with us this summer. We've taken the old 250th anniversary video, and Christian has kindly condensed it into a half-hour show. The 250th anniversary took place in 1974. Whoa, hard to believe. But I was there, and I was on the committee, and lucky for me, I have a couple of guests who are also on the committee, Jackie Dellicker and Bobby Blair. And we're going to watch this video along with you and comment to the best of our ability about people that we remember, names, places, and things that were going on that year. Truthfully, there are going to be a lot of people that we're going to fail to remember the names of, but maybe we'll remember them tonight in the middle of the night. But at any rate, let's take a look at that. There's a lot to it, and some of the video's not perfectly clear, because let's remember, this is old video, old technology, and it's not up to today's snuff on high definition. But here we go. So let's take a look at this video from the 250th anniversary. Remember who did the seal? Came up with the seal? Was the art teacher up at the... Peaky. Yep. Fosco Peaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Look at that car.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is that this is Fisk's as it still looks today, but we'll see later Aubuchon's is not there. No library edition.
No.
But that bulletin board we put up for the 250th.
Yes, I remember that.
Now there's Aubuchon. Aubuchon's is long gone now.
And Al's Restaurant and the old historical house.
And there we are. There we are. So Bill Lee and Mel Warshaw and myself.
Nancy Norris.
Go ahead.
Bill Hamlet. Frank Perrin.
Bell, last name.
Cindy?
No.
No.
Oh, Cauldron there.
Frank.
And Dan Willis.
Yep.
Frank
Ludwig, yep. Frank Perrin. He was the chairman, and he and Nancy were kind of co-chairs. Frank was the Brothers of the Brush, right?
Yep.
Bobby. Oh, God. And there's Ronnie
Ludwig, Byron Rob Shaw.
Tom Stewart in the back, far right.
Oh, yes, you're right.
That's who it is.
Yep.
Bill Lee again. Oh, Dorothea? Reese. Dorothy Reese, that's who it is on the left behind me, wrote the history book. I refer to that thing often. Is that Hester?
I asked that same question when I looked at this.
I think that's Hester. I really do. All right, so now this was the entire committee. We had a big committee, and these activities, we had one each month, every month for the entire year. So the first one was the Treasure Chest of Fashion, which coincidentally was my event. And we opened up with having the militia march in, which was really quite stunning.
Absolutely.
And then, this is Dory Lynn's daughter. No, or was that Nancy's daughter? Oh, this is Dory herself, her husband Tom, and their youngest daughter, whose name I don't remember. This is Christine Poitras wearing a gown that came from the Historical Society. It's still in their collection, but they don't allow people to wear them anymore, which is understandable. This is a wedding gown that could also be used as a funeral gown. They were very practical, you know. They wanted their best dresses. This is tennis wear, if you can imagine. Oh, that's Laura Poitras, who is now a filmmaker herself.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, Doreen Silver, Larry Silver's wife.
Oh, yes.
And, oh, my goodness, I have no idea. Oh, Frank Fishlock. He was our hero, He-Man kind of thing. And this is Dory Lynn's daughter. I can't remember her name. Cindy? Is it Cindy Lynn? I don't know. But she's got that upside down. See there we go. Flip it up. Put the part that goes over your shoulders. There we go. This is the corset that every woman would be wearing, and it's filled with bones, literally bones that go up and down it to keep you stiff. This was a two-piece suit. That top is a coat. It was actually a coat. Again, that's from the Historical Society. So is this one. The most beautiful gowns we had were from the Historical Society, and Dory Lynn she's living in Rhode Island now, is a gifted seamstress. Oh, who do you recognize?
Henry Dellicker.
Henry Dellicker. And who's on his arm? I can't even tell.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, we can't remember, and I can't tell. Oops. Yeah, so there he is, Mr. Dellicker, who was also chairman of the Board of Selectmen that year.
Correct.
Jim Poitras. Can't tell who's with him. A couple of stunning women.
The lady with the cigarette.
I can't remember the names.
Me either, Mary.
Frank Perrin I got.
Yeah.
Too bad. I really wish I could remember. And there's Mr. Dellicker again. All right. Don't I remember you did the political rally?
I did.
Yep. So this was the rally. This was a candidates' night, and we did have at the time the League of Women Voters. Yeah, League of Women Voters and the JCs.
Yep.
Look at these guys. This was at the.
It was a great night. Was it middle school?
Yeah. What is now the middle school?
Yep.
Yeah.
The old high school.
The old high school, right.
That guy's name is Ron, and I can't remember his last name. He actually was one of the ones that was for the British Army, and he came from a different town than here, but he would come and do this with us. Is that you, Jackie?
It is, with a straw hat on.
A straw hat on, yep. And then these were the real, Betty Buston, a candidate, a real candidate. Oh, Don LaFave, yes, there we go. Barbara Christensen for Park Commission.
Right.
Who are that scruffy group, Bobby? Must be yours.
That was the brothers, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
On my soapbox.
On your soapbox. Oh, gosh. And did people give speeches? The candidates gave speeches that night?
They did. Yeah. They did. We encouraged them to be short, but... But people would mill around, and they'd go by, and they'd shake hands. And
Lee Richmond, Paula Gay. Was that Wally Watts?
That was Wally Watts.
Yep. There he is.
Who was town clerk for 49 years.
Wow. Wow. Frank looking very dapper in his suspenders.
He certainly is.
He was the tree warden.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
He planted all the cherry trees along Washington Street.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. So then we had this little midi marathon, and this was actually a legitimate, if you will, race, in that the people who organized it were real race organizers, and I cannot remember the name of the man who did that.
And since it was early March, weren't they lucky that there was no snow?
Well, good point. Good point. I don't remember the weather at all that year.
Well, except for them have mittens on, so it must have been a little chilly.
Yeah. The only day I remember the weather was the parade.
Oh, my gosh.
You know?
The hottest day of the year.
Yeah, forever. Oh, yeah. It was horrible.
It was.
But yeah, this was a sort of a late entry, but it was when I say legitimate, it was sanctioned by whatever the Race Association of New England, Massachusetts, whatever group. So it drew a lot of people that had nothing to do with Holliston. Up there's Nancy Norris and, come on, Bobby, he's got to be, no, anybody, no, I figured you knew everybody with a beard.
Like Bobby Ludwig, I'm not sure.
Ah. Have no way of knowing who won. Seems we didn't quite. Oh, the barn dance. Barn dance. That was, wait until you see square dancing. And I think this is the one that George, oh boy, who's he? He looks familiar. She looks familiar.
Sylvia Hudson.
There you go. There you go.
Good.
And Bob Hudson on the left.
Yep.
But I have no idea who the gentleman is. Oh, Ruth Norris, Nancy's mother-in-law. And that is Hester.
I thought that was Hester.
Absolutely, it's got to be. So is that Henry?
I think so.
Wow.
Not positive.
Yeah, I wouldn't swear to it either. But here we are doing the hoedown. Even people who never would do anything like this. I mean, we all participated.
Yes.
Variety show. We actually had a song written for this, and I've still got the lyrics at home. Ruth Norris and Bill Grady. Yeah. There we go. Oh, George.
George
Lydon. There we go. That was what I was trying
Cousin George to everybody that knew him well.
Is that Tom Sullivan? He was the deep, deep voice, the guy with the big All right, this was the band that George Lydon played with.
That's Mr. Merritt there.
Oh, that's who it is.
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Good memory.
Oh, this is hard.
It is.
This is hard. I have trouble enough recognizing people today. I forget most of the names of even people I know now. Oh, I can't tell who that is. But I remember that they created a song. I have the lyrics. There was a whole bunch of young kids, including, I remember Alan being in that. And they had to sing the lyrics to the song. And I think, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't say, can't remember. Brian Volpicelli, I am betting.
I would bet on that also.
He was very popular at the time.
Yep.
He played often, and
Yep.
I'm just betting that was Brian. Okay, come on, Bobby. Who is that?
That's Mr. Merritt.
It is Merritt. Okay. And here we have our...
1002 Washington Street.
Yes, just down the street. Was that a flower shop at one point?
It was. They
Yeah,
had
Emma's.
greenhouses out back.
Yeah. Okay, Brothers of the Brush cleanup date. This is yours, Bobby.
Harold Shea, 32 mechanic. That's a, well,
Who are these kids?
one is John Dillon's. That's a Siraki there. Bob Carr. That's me.
That's you.
That's you.
That's
me.
you.
Okay.
Yeah. Charlie Kersenkowski. Oh, Allen is his last name. Peter Hobson was on the left.
And then that was Frank, right? Frank Ludwig. Opening day of the Industrial Exhibition. I remember that, oh my God, I'm carrying the sign. Ha! Didn't even
I
notice
thought
the
that
first
was
time.
a great show.
It was a good
introduced to things I never knew were in town, and
Yeah.
it was an eye-opener for me, and I thought it was extremely well done, and
Ron
a lot
Geltman.
of participation.
Ron Geltman is the fellow who's cutting the... And what we had was just different businesses from up at the industrial parks and stuff. This was Child Life. Oh,
Best swing sets ever in
Yeah.
that day, anyway.
yep, no, true. Arbor Day. Now, is it Frank that's out here, that's Frank Perrin, that's planting a...
Believe so.
Yeah, but all the little kids. Now, I think if you freeze-framed some of these, I bet there are kids who could find them, adults who could find themselves in these kids' pictures, you know?
Probably.
Yeah, there's Frank. Oh, Jim Palladino. That was one I caught the other day.
Yes.
And his wife is in this somewhere else. Okay. Oh, this was the precursor to, what do you call them now? Washington Street Players. Yep, this was the their performance. Boy, these are, I'm going to say they're all in costume and I don't recognize them.
Good excuse.
I just can't remember. Look at that, we were smoking on stage inside a building. Can you imagine? Look at that. They did great performances. Nancy Jarvie was great at that.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so now the Holliston Panther Band, which was a big deal at the time. And who was the name? What was the name of the man that was the band leader? This
Easer.
Easer?
Al
Easer. Yep. And I bet you these girls could all, you know, be somebody we still know today if we only knew who they were.
And some of them may still be in town.
They may be, and my hope is that people who see the video will step forward and identify themselves, because to the degree humanly possible, I hope to be able to leave this as something of a chronicle with names.
That would
and
be
then
wonderful.
Nice, you know, fill in as much as we can.
Even if people recognize other people that
Yeah, I think
they could
eventually.
tell us.
Yep. HCAT will eventually have this online, and then we can link it to the Facebook page. You know you're from Holliston if.
Yeah.
Okay, the horse show. Oh, at Wheeler's Farm. And here today, Susan Wheeler, isn't she the one that got killed on the horse yesterday?
No.
No?
Not the same family.
Not the same
No.
family? Oh, okay, I thought it was.
One was Norfolk Street. This is,
Okay.
actually, it's a solar farm now.
Yeah, it is now. That was I was going to say, Wheeler Farm is a solar farm up behind, well, next to the, across from the post office. But I remember when we set that all up, it was a fun day. It was a fun day.
They all were fun days. It
Oh,
was a
look at this,
great
chasing
year.
a pig.
Yeah.
Can you imagine today saying we're going to have a greased pig contest, you know, we're going to chase after a pig? Oh my God, we'd have the SPCA or whatever they are out here protesting us, you know? But yeah, a greased pig. And the kids had a ball chasing after the poor little bugger. Oh God, pretty horses. I love horses. Oh God, and here, the main event. Norman Bloomstein and Pat Poitras, the hottest day of the year.
Definitely.
Oh God,
oh, my
it was
God,
hot.
was it hot.
100,000 people were the newspaper estimates of the number of people that came. Temperature got to what, 104?
At least.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And look at the throngs. I mean, and we had not EMTs, ambulances going back and forth to the hospitals and stuff with people from There's Louis.
I was going to say, that must be Louis.
Yeah, it was great. Look at this, the expressions on people's faces.
It's wonderful. It was such a great day.
Bobby, what do you remember about the parade? You guys marched in it.
Yeah, I did. I started at the top of the hill, but I lived at the top of the hill across
From where I used to live, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Holliston band, but we had bands from all over the country, and the floats. We had a competition, didn't we? Yes, we did. We had a competition for who could do the best float, and if I remember, the JCs won it with their We Believe in Tommy Norris.
Yep.
Good picture of him. Perfect picture of him. I think one of the biggest differences, well, there's so many differences, let's face it. Now, what do you call that thing that they're working on?
Hydrant freight.
The pumper?
Yeah.
Pumper. Where's our pumper?
Our pumper is stored down at the water building on Central Street.
Oh, okay. I think even though we managed today, and I don't know how we managed to do things like celebrate Holliston, thanks to the efforts of a group of wonderful people, there were more organizations in the 70s.
Yes,
there were a lot more little
some
groups.
Came and went.
Yeah.
The JCs.
Yeah, the
there's
JCs.
one.
Yep.
Now that's the Brothers of the Brush.
Oh, there you
and
are.
That's in front of the American Legion there on Exchange Street.
Well, where the Holliston Animal Hospital is now.
Correct.
Yeah. Number 6, Grand Army
Of the Republic.
of the Republic.
And actually it's the oldest Civil War veterans post in the state. It was the first one that was constructed by Civil War veterans, and it was moved over from Green Street.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
This is the one that the JCs did. We believe in Holliston. Now, we could do a B one now. We could put Tony Lulek up there and his BH shirt. And this was when they broke down. You know, sometimes the cars or trucks would break down, and we actually had people underneath there. That's Al's Restaurant, which is now where that little building is next door to Fisk's.
That's George DeCristoforo, who was a selectman at the time.
Yep. Yeah, bands had, floats had bands on them, or they would have music, you know, somehow playing, and it was...
And I think the reviewing stand was right out in front of the Congregational Church. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was, because I was up at the top of Washington.
Town Hall? I've forgotten.
Town Hall, I know it was
Leadville
for
Block Party, wow.
Yeah, how about it? Isn't that... oh, I know who that is. But anyway, the Oddfellows. Well, there's a group
Oddfellows
that's
is no
gone.
longer, right?
Yeah, they are literally gone. I think all of them have died now. The hockey team? I didn't even notice that. Wow.
Love the vehicles.
I know. I wish the coloring like that on that would be brighter so that we could actually see it. But curtain timers. And everybody did a float. Even the Republican Town Committee had a float. I don't remember if it's in here, but it was great because Jackie... Oh, look at the Clydesdales.
The Clydesdales.
They were up at the top of the hill. I spent the morning talking to them. There's the committee. hanging off the back of the old. That's Pat Poitras. Mrs. Jordan, what's her name? I can't remember. Me and, oh, Carol Bell. That's who it is.
Carol Bell.
And Frank. Yeah, that was a great time. And then the craft fair. This was a twofer, because in June we had two things going on. It's like we had nothing else to do. It was a huge fair, too.
It was a very busy committee, obviously, all year long.
If I remember, the basic committee had like 26 people on it or something like that.
It was a big committee.
Yeah. And we'd meet on Friday nights at the library at the high school. Now, I think that's pretty challenging when you think about it.
Very.
And we were meeting, how long ahead of time? A year?
Oh, easy
a year.
Easy a year.
Yeah, it seems to me that we were there for 2 years beforehand, the year of. And boy, when it ended, we were all exhausted. The toy.
Oh, I
and pet
remember this. This
Yep.
was so cute.
Yep, this is another event in that same month. Big wheels. Who had a big wheel?
Oh,
my kids
gosh.
did. There's Jerry Adams. There's Mr. Dellicker. Great pictures with their dark hair. You know? Oh, look at these little guys. They're hysterical. They're dressed up as little Minutemen.
Oh gosh, it would be so nice if I could remember names.
Well,
They look familiar, but the name just won't come.
no, but and when you're talking about the kids,
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
no hope for that,
No.
unless they were the kids who lived next door to me or something. you know?
Exactly.
And you'd recognize them.
If you were lucky.
Oh, Hal Noble.
Hal Noble.
Henry and
Henry.
Jerry Adams. That's an interesting shot of three leaders of the town at the time. I love his beard.
Watch
Now,
what he's looking at.
Oh. Oh.
In some respects, he's not changed.
All right, Bobby. What is Judgment Day?
Well, the idea was to dig up another town's razor
Okay.
that was having an anniversary, and we went over to Walpole to try to dig the razor, and we were caught. So we had to pay a ransom, and the ransom was to march to the center of town dressed up in Disney characters. So they combined
That's Louis.
combined it with the beer judging contest.
Oh, okay. Now, who won the contest? Because I know we have a picture.
Billy McGuire.
Dude.
Billy McGuire from Arch Street. Arnold Merritt there.
Look at those beards. They must have been so happy to get them off, though, come June.
Look at that one.
Yeah.
That's Billy
the winner.
McGuire.
Uh-huh.
That's the winner.
He won
There
the
you go.
contest.
Okay.
And the guy, Edmonds, where
Oh,
Dees was.
yeah,
he was
Yes, I forgot.
he
all
was
about
the
that.
judge.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's right. He's the one that ran away with the lady at the bookstore. I bet you didn't know that. Remember
No,
when
I
there was a
didn't.
bookstore across the street at
Right.
where the real estate office was? There was a bookstore upstairs. Oh, Joe LaRosa.
Yep.
Joe LaRosa, son of a gun.
What a car.
Burt
Oh,
Gates.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I was going to say.
Burt Gates.
My goodness.
This is the fireman's muster, and
Is this-
that was headed up by Frank Ludwig from Front Street.
Yeah.
And they actually say that with the bands and the parade and the fight, it was actually longer than the other parade.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Look at these. I love this group. This is from the Shriners. Yeah. Look at
And
this
there's
group.
the Brothers of the Brush.
Riding on a
Fountain.
vehicle, in an open vehicle, on a main street with a beer in his hand. He couldn't do it
There
anymore.
was a lot of let's say, illegal activities that year.
Now, can you tell if which is ours or if it's
Yeah,
ours?
that's not it.
That's not it.
Ours is hydrant 3.
Okay. I don't know if it's in here even.
That year, Barry also.
The town
And we
of?
were caught up in Barry digging their razor up at 2 in the morning.
Oh, God, you guys are no good at digging up razors.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Makes you want to freeze frame some of these,
Oh,
just so you
yes.
can look at them and say, okay, now
Yeah.
really, if I think about it, do I know who you were?
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah. Thank God he wore his name, though.
No.
Without a name tag.
You can see the smoke from one of the steam engines.
Oh, is that what
in the
it is?
background.
Okay, this is the Hancock. That's the one I'm thinking. And it's when you push down on the pump, creates the pressure to pump the water, and the goal of a muster is to see who can shoot the farthest,
Correct.
longest stream.
Correct.
Yep.
So this paper is what they're measuring on.
Yeah.
Okay. And does even just a drop must count, because this guy's
It
looking
does.
for drops. This guy's looking for drops. I remember Jim Poitras, and probably John too, I can't remember, but on one side of it, and their feet would come right up off the ground
Oh, yeah.
when they go up
Yeah.
to the top.
I think that's Donnie Young at the top.
Oh, wow.
Remember he was a plumber?
Yes,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Was he a plumber with Bud Ross in it at
Bert
one
Gates.
point?
Yes, he was. Uh-huh.
Okay. I can remember the most useless things, but not the faces and names. It's really bad.
This is the hose coupling.
And then, oh, it accounted that you had to get into all of your gear and
Uniform.
stuff. The guys the other night, the fire department did something like this down at the school. They were practicing, they were doing some
Yeah.
drills, and they had to get into their gear before they did it. It was all playing volleyball. That was a great day. That was fun for somebody who knew nothing about this, you know,
Yep.
particularly a city girl here, you know. At this point, I'd lived in Holliston for 8 years and hadn't quite gotten into the small town.
Actually, after they had brought out Hydrant 3, the hand pumper, for the anniversary, then it kind of activated again, and the brothers took it up to Portland, Maine to compete. And
We should see if we could do that. Think the brothers could come out and operate that thing again?
the brothers are a lot older now.
No kidding, we all are. Yeah.
And I understand the pumper isn't all in that great a shape anymore either.
Oh, really?
It's too bad.
Well,
That's what happens with mechanics that are just sitting.
If it just sits there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one of...
looks like Bobby Reed there, yellow shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, now that's one of the ones that... See, I'd love to know who this guy is. I mean, come on. Do you not know we'd have these in posters around town? Wanted. Who is this? I think maybe I'll do that. Get some of these pictures and have them done in posters, and people can fill in names. I'd put them in my front window at the store or something. Look at these guys. They're so cute.
Now that girl looks familiar to me, but
Yeah, I agree.
can't-
I agree. Remember when the raft was out there too? And this was the 12th month, and this is the 250th anniversary ball. Look at that cake.
yes,
Okay.
done by Beverly Demigello, I believe.
Was it? I don't remember
believe
that,
so.
but yeah, it's quite a piece of work. There's Bill Hamlet.
Bill Hamlet.
God bless him. Former assessor. Oh, George, Mary, who? Just went by. George and
Chris
Mary.
Coral,
No. Irving Place.
Williams.
Yes.
you.
Very good.
I have to give you the address. It's not enough to give you the name.
I was going to say Garriott because they live.
And I know who that is, but I'll be darned if I can remember her name. I mean, there are so many of these people that I look at and say, I know who you are. Forgive me. I'm sorry. But look at how dressed up. Everybody got into costume. We all looked amazing. the Perrins. What was Frank's wife's name?
Betty.
Ah, good for you. And here's the Norrises, and it was not too long after that that Tom Norris was killed in an automobile accident.
Yes.
Tragically, at a very young age.
Yes.
This video is actually from Nancy Norris. Nancy is the only one who had a copy. I know you guys too. You were in my show. But anyway, her daughter had it, Susan, down in Norfolk. And she met me and gave me the video. And thanks to HCAT, that would be the Hendersons. Thanks to HCAT, Bobby and Don Lon.
Very good, Mary.
Oh, I don't know where that came from. But thanks to HCAT, they converted it to DVD, and then this summer, Christian Boudet was the one that came in, and as an intern here, has put the whole, Tom Lyons, has put the whole video together. So there's a 2.5-hour video, and then this version that's been abbreviated to something of 30 minutes, so that we can, have one.
Pauline Borelli? Is that?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe. That's Ron. Quentin Greeley. Dorian Greeley.
Very good.
Whoops. Is that Jim Stannard? Maybe. No. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. They're having fun, whoever they are.
Whoever they are.
Yeah. I love the beard on that one.
John and Valerie Dillon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Good for you. So you recognize the beards. How young we were. My goodness. My goodness.
My oldest graduated from high school that year.
Trying to think. My kids would have been like.
I know that man, but
yeah.
Alan. I can't. They lived on Oak Street.
That was the Huffs that just went by. Don't ask me why I remember that. There we are, the Dellickers.
The Dellickers.
Or as my kids would say, the Decklers. When they were little, that's how they remembered them, the Decklers.
I think I still have that dress.
There's Norm Bloomstein. He was the head of the parade. Oh, boy. What a strain. It's not Ronnie Geltman. I don't know who that is. Russian dancing for us here in Holliston.
Nice job.
Beautiful cake. Beautiful cake.
Wow.
And who was that? There's that beard again. I like that beard. I don't think it would be possible to do this again. I don't believe that there would be the manpower, people power,
Not
nowadays.
Not nowadays.
Holliston gave us $15,000 to do the 250th, okay? And then it was at that point when we were finishing up the 250th, we started thinking about what are you going to do if we ever wanted to do the 275th, and ultimately Celebrate Holliston became the vehicle to raise money so that we'd have the money because we didn't think the town would ever give us money again. In 1974, inflation was over 11%. Do you remember? What do you remember 74? Oil embargo?
Poor.
Yeah. But how about the oil embargo? That was the year of the oil embargo. When you got gas. When did you get gas for the post office?
And we had to wait in line.
You had to wait in line alternate days. It was by your license plate number. The last day, odd and even, by the last digit in your license plate. So
And the lines were very long.
the lines were
And
forever.
started very early in the morning.
Yeah, and that was with 2 functioning gas stations downtown. That traffic would wind into the center of the street, you know. The other thing I remember, that 74 was the year Nixon resigned, You know, these weren't the good old days. You know, but we really made it into some good old days for us as a community. It was a great year.
It was a wonderful, wonderful year.
Yeah. A lot of memories.
And a lot of years have gone. And the 300th is only
7 years.
7 years away.
Right.
Henry said Henry was chairman of the Board of Selectmen for the 250th and the 275th. And he told me the other day when they gave him a green light that he was getting better from his mini stroke, that he really was going to try hard to behave himself and be here, at least be here for the 300th.
Well, good. Yeah, I'm working at that too. You know, I'd like to be here.
When he said it was only 7 years away. So.
Yep. Well, Celebrate Holliston continues to raise funds that will go toward that. And because, again, there's hardly any prospect that the town of Holliston will have the resources to be able to put to it. Maybe they'd have some seed money or something. But, you know, the goal is to start thinking about it. What are we going to do? I don't think we could probably do an event each month. I don't think there's enough institutional capacity, numbers of people to be able to do that kind of thing. But could at least do a big parade.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe a bonfire.
Maybe a bonfire. Have to do that between January and April if we're going to get a fire permit.
Well, hey, anything's possible. We could have it in the middle of the lake.
There you go.
Hey, listen, we could always go back and resurrect the idea of doing the gambling casino.
I love that. That was the best idea that anyone ever came up with. Mary wanted to have a casino on one of the islands in the lake, and we talked about it. And then we decided, well, the liability for it would be a little bit overwhelming because there was going to be a little bar on the island. But
well, there used to be a floating pavilion. That's where it started. Remember, there used to be a floating pavilion on the lake, and it actually burned up when the fire chief one night was smoking, and the cigarette ash fell into the kerosene lamp cloths that were down on the floor. Hey, I read Joanne's books. And that's what I learned.
Which fire chief was that?
Oh, I can't remember the name. See, it was like
Frank Locke, maybe?
No, it was before that. It was in the late 1800s. I think it was the late 1800s because Holliston was at that time something of a resort community.
Oh, that's right.
You know, so it was in the late 1800s. But anyway, so the pavilion burned up and they never did it again. But I thought it would be fun if we could put a floating pavilion out there, and they gambled on it. You know, that's what that was out there for. Well, but anyway, who knows? Maybe that's what we'll do for the 300th. The red tape on that would be a nightmare. I don't even want to think about that. All right, so any parting thoughts about this?
I just am so pleased that you asked me to come with this because going back and remembering, and there were things in that I had forgotten.
Oh, me too.
And but it was so nice to have that resurrected because it was a wonderful, wonderful year.
It was. Do your kids remember it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, mine do too. Mine were younger, a little younger than
graduated from high school, so
yeah, so he was a little
They were
older.
all old enough to remember. Yeah, they all remember it.
Yeah, we lived right on Washington Street, so my kids remember the parade going by. I don't know how much else they remember. Alan remembers the singing thing from the variety show because he had poison ivy. His face was all blown up with poison ivy, and he was on stage. So.
Well, my sister-in-law lived in an apartment upstairs from where Elizabeth now lives. And so we had front row seats for the parade also.
Sure, right on Washington Street.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just walked out of my apartment for the parade. And
also on Washington Street, right across the street.
Yeah.
It was a great location.
I was 24 at the time, and I had just been elected commander of the Legion. So down we went.
24.
24, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Okay, we better stop there. That's
Good place to stop.
A long time ago. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it.